Figures of speech. Now, let's understand what do you mean by figures of speech. Figures of speech are special ways of using words to make language more interesting, imaginative and powerful. Okay. Now, let's understand what are the major types of figures of speech. These are simile, metaphor, personification, alliteration, repetition, pun, hyperbole, tautology, interrogation, exclamation, climax, anticlimax, onomatopoeia, oxymoron, irony, paradox, apostrophe, synecdoche, metonymy, antithesis, litotes, euphemism, epigram and last transferred epithet. Okay, let's study each and every topic in detail. Okay, simile, metaphor, personification, alliteration and repetition. Okay, all these 5 topics we are going to do today itself with a detailed explanation. Okay, now let's start with simile. Okay, now what do you mean by simile? Simile is a comparison between two different things using words like as, like, as, so. That means you need to, any comparison between two different things, you have to use the words like, as, or so. Okay, now here, he is as brave as a lion. Okay, now underline the comparison words as. Okay, here a man is compared to a lion. Okay, so here a lion is known as here bravery. Okay, brave is lion. Brave describes a word, describes lion, right? So the comparison shows that he is brave, that a man is brave, right? Similarly, second example, Helen was like a lovely rose. Now, you first underline the simile. What in this sentence, which word indicates this sentence is a simile figures of speech? Like, right? So, underline the word like. Now, what does this sentence means? See, Helen is compared to a rose, right? So, rose is beautiful and attractive, right? Okay. Now, so this shows Helen is beautifully and lovely, right? Understood? So, now let's understand the third example. John is as clever as Peter. Okay. Now, you need to underline what in this sentence, which word indicates the simile? As, clever as. Okay. Now, here understand this sentence. Why? John is compared to a Peter. Okay. Both have the same level of cleverness. Right. Now, this sentence shows equality in intelligence. Right. Okay. Now, similarly, the fourth one, he looks as cheerful as a rose. Now, here, see, understand which word indicates it's a simile figures of speech? As, cheerful, as. Okay. Now, here a person is compared to a rose again. Okay. He looks as cheerful as a rose. That means a rose looks fresh, bright and happy. Right. So, this shows that he looks happy and cheerful. Understood? Okay. Any doubt till here? Okay. Now, let's go with the second topic, metaphor. Now, what do you mean by metaphor? Metaphor is a direct comparison without using like or as. Okay. In simile, it was comparison between comparison using the word like or as. Here, it is comparison without using like or as. Now, example, time is a thief. Okay. Here, the comparison is done. But is the comparison done by using like or as? No. Right? Comparison is not done by using like or as. Okay. Now, here what does this statement means? a thief. Here in this sentence, time is compared to a thief, right? So time does not literally steal things, right? Like a real thief, but it silently takes away our moments, right? An opportunity, whatever we get, right? So there is no use of like or as, but there is a direct comparison which makes it metaphor. Understood? Okay? Any doubt till here? Now let's understand second example. Life is a dream. Okay? Now, again in this sentence, life is directly compared to a dream. Okay? Life is not actually a dream, but it is called a dream. Okay? Because it is temporary, uncertain, and it passes quickly. Right? So again in this sentence, there is no use of like or as. Okay, but the comparison is direct, so which makes it metaphor. Okay, any doubt till here? Okay, now let's understand. Industry is the foundation of success. Okay, now again, this is known as metaphor. Why this sentence is known as metaphor? Okay, here industry is compared to foundation, right? See, what is foundation? A foundation supports here a building, and the same way hard work and industry support success, right? Okay, so industry is not a real foundation, but it is described as one, so this is known as metaphor. Okay, any doubt till here? Okay, understood? Right. Now let's go to the next topic, personification. Now personification, it means giving human qualities to non-human things. Okay, very simple. Any doubt till here? Okay, now let's understand with the help of an example. The wind whispered through trees. Okay, see, I have written examples both in English and Hindi. Okay, so any doubt you have, you can ask me or you can DM me. Okay, now here the wind whispered through the trees. Why this sentence is known as personification? Okay, see, here wind is a non-living thing. Okay, but it is given the human action whispered. Okay, wind cannot whisper like a human, so this is known as personification. Okay, now similarly, second example, the thirsty earth soaks up the rain. Okay, like हिंदी में बोला जाता है प्यासी धरती बारिश को सोख लेती है, right? Because यहाँ पे if you notice, earth is described as thirsty, okay, which is a human quality, है ना? प्यास किसको, इंसान को लगती है, right? So because a non-living thing is given a human feeling, it is a personification. Okay. Now similarly, example number 3. In the meantime, life steals away. Okay. Now here, life is given the human action steal, right? So life cannot actually steal. So this sentence is known as personification. Understood? So simple sentence, simple है. How to identify personification? Whenever human qualities are given to non-living things. Okay, so that statement is known as personification. Understood? Now, let's go to the next topic, alliteration. Alliteration is very simple. Repetition of the same sound or letter at the beginning of the words. Okay, so wherever you find beginning of the alphabet, okay, very beginning of the alphabet, okay, so that is alliteration. For example, she sells seashells on the seashore. Okay, again, S, 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 all these are alliteration, repeated, repetition of the sound or letter at the beginning of the words. Beginning में S कितनी बार आता है, right? तो ये क्या हो गया, alliteration. Again, this is also an S, 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 यहाँ पे भी आएगा underline. ठीक है? Now, don't dream it, drive it. Again, D, ठीक है, repeat हो रहा है ये, alphabets repeat हो रहा है, ठीक है? साउंड लेटर, लेटर रिपीट हो रहा है, फर्स्ट वर्ड इनिशियल, बिगनिंग ऑफ द वर्ड्स, ठीक है. द स्लाई स्नेक slithers slowly in the sand. Okay, again ss is repeating at the beginning of the word, at the right. Now let's understand, go to the next topic, repetition. Okay, now repetition, again it's a figure of speech in which a word or phrase is repeated to emphasize an idea or feeling. Now alliteration में क्या होता था, difference, see the difference between repetition and alliteration. Repetition is repetition of word or phrase. Okay, now alliteration was repeated of the starting alphabet. Okay, now here let's understand with the help of an example. Work, 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 that's all you ever do. Okay, repetition of word is work. Okay, now this repetition shows complaint and emphasis, right? Okay, so it suggests that person does nothing except work. Okay, now second example, the rain kept falling, falling, falling. Again the falling, the word falling is repeated. Okay, so it indicates repetition. Okay, now here what does it creates? It creates a feeling of continuous action. Okay, so now what does it show? It shows the rain is continued for a longer time, right? Okay, now similarly, again third example, alone, alone, all alone on a wide, wide sea. Again alone, alone and wide, wide are the repetitive words, right? See, alone is repeated to stress loneliness and isolation, right? And wide is repeated to show the vastness of the sea, right? Okay, so what does this sentence indicates? It indicates repetition. Okay, again never give up, never, never, never. Again the word never is repeated, right? Now what does the sentence means? It strongly emphasizes determination and encouragement, right? So the repetition makes the message more powerful and motivational here. Okay, understood? Any doubt till here?